everyone. Now in this particular module, let us try to understand how do we concatenate two different data types, or how can we concatenate series and data frames all together with themselves. So for that, we have two different functions. One is basically in Numpy and one in Pandas. So the one which is in Numpy, that is called as concatenate, and the one which is in Pandas, that is called as concat. So for that, let us dive in and start by importing all the libraries. So for that, I have just copied all of it, and first we will be seeing the concatenation in Numpy. So for that, let's create one array as arr1 is equals to np dot array, or say a range starting from 1 till say we go till 10, reshape into 5 comma 5. What's wrong? Oh yes, how can this be reshaped in 5 comma 5? It should be 3 comma 3. Perfect. So yeah, we have our one more array. In this particular array, let us start from np dot a range, and this one will have from starting from 10 till say 20, because we want it till 19, and then reshape it to 3 comma 3. So once we reshape it, and yep, again, so we'll have to take it from 19. Perfect. So we have our array 1 and array 2. So these are our two arrays. Now what we want to do is we want to join both of them. We want to join these arrays vertically or horizontally. So for that, what we will be doing is we will be writing np dot concatenate, and here now see, you don't directly pass name of the series, you pass them as a list. So for this, you'll write arr1 comma arr2 and simply run it. So when you run it, you can see that first array is at the top and the second array is at the bottom. So this is how we have concatenated two 3 cross 3 arrays and made it into a 6 comma 3 array shape. Now if you want this to be concatenated say horizontally, for that you will give comma over here, and then after that you can write axis is equals to 1. So when we write axis is equals to 1, it joins horizontally. By default value of axis is 0, that would be vertical concatenation. So if you want, you can simply copy this and have your axis as 0. It won't make any difference, but yeah, it would be a vertical concatenation and a horizontal concatenation with axis 0 and 1. So this was the concatenation which can be done in Numpy. Now let us try to understand how it works for series and data frame in Pandas. So for that, we'll make a series S1, and let us have some random numbers. So for that, we'll have np dot random dot random, and 1 between 100 and 1, and let us have only 5 values. So once we have that, and let us pass index is equals to say list of round brackets a b c d e. So this is our first series, and this is our second series. Both of them are having a b c d as our numbers, as our indexes, and random 5 numbers between 1 and 100 as our values. Now for joining them, we will write simply pd dot concat, and within the round brackets we will write as a list s1 comma s2, and when you will run them, you can see that you have abcde, abcde. These would be getting concatenated vertically. Now would it be possible to have a horizontal concatenation in Pandas for series? Yes, obviously you can do that, but the problem with this is that if you try to concatenate it horizontally, that is axis 1, then it won't be a series anymore. It would be a data frame because it should have two different columns. So for that we'll try to make this, but yeah, it is not recommended to do this. Access is equals to 1, which you can see that you have two data frames now over here. So these two data frames are being concatenated. Since luckily you are having same indexes, therefore they are getting concatenated properly. Otherwise, if there would have been any extra index which is not common, then it might not have been a proper concatenation. So for that, what we'll do is we'll try to create maybe series 2, and in this series say we'll change the name to SER3, and these I'll take U, V, W, X, Y as 5 indexes, and I'll try to run it. And then again I'll try to concatenate them with access 0 once, and we'll have to change this to S3. When we'll run this, you can see we have A, B, C, D, E, then U, V, W, X, Y. And if you try to change this and change this to access 1, you can see that you will be getting a warning that it cannot be retained. But yeah, when you'll see this, you'll get two different columns with all the indexes, that is A to E and U to Y, and one column would be having one value, other one would be having null value, and this one is also having null value, and here you have values. So this is how basically your concatenation works in series. Now once you do this, it's similarly in the same fashion works for data frame as well. You can concatenate it vertically or horizontally, any of the things, whatever you want. We'll try to see this with an example. So for that we'll create D1 as a, let's say, empty data frame. Don't make sure you use round brackets, because otherwise we'll fetch an error. So we'll just check that. Yeah, we have our empty data frame. Square brackets, square, we'll just have this df1 as a column, and maybe let's have value of s1. So this is our column 1. And similarly, what we'll do over here is we'll create one more data frame, which is say df2, and for this df2 we'll have a different column called as b, and this time we'll have value as maybe s2, and then let us check this df2. Now we have this two data frames, and using this what we'll try to do is we'll try to concatenate these two data frames. So for that, what we'll be doing is pd dot concat in the round brackets df1 square bracket quotes a comma df2 square bracket quotes b. What have we forgotten? Have we forgotten anything or not? Just try to execute it if you are not sure. Yeah, since it's taking time means you'll be getting an error. Obviously we didn't pass it as a list, so that was an mistake. But yeah, you can see that when we try to concatenate these two, since they were having single column, it is concatenating them, but yeah, you are getting your output in the form of a series. Now if you want them in the form of data frame by keeping it same, what you will do over here is we'll just copy that, and you'll get access as 1, and there you go, you have your data frame. Now if you want to store this in say df3, you can simply store this in data frame 3, and yet again say if you want to concatenate one more column as a over here, so for that what you can do is you can simply select this and change this df1. That means you are again concatenating a column with say df3, and that's it. So this should run. So when you will do this, you can see we are selecting a column of this data frame and a column of df1, and therefore the output which you are getting over here is basically two a columns with a totally a new type of concatenation which is happening horizontally. So access 1, access 0, and p.concat with respect to series, with respect to data frame, and np.concatenate in numpy. So this is how you can join two different columns on the basis of, like, say, vertically or horizontally. This is very important and useful function which would be used to create new columns or have a connectivity or concatenating different sorts of data. Thank you.